Here are some top things you need to know before moving to downtown Sacramento. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about a few things you really need to know before moving to the downtown Sacramento area. But before I get started, as always, help me out, hit the like button, subscribe, ding the notification bell, because I've got new videos for Sacramento and the Metro every single week coming out just for you so that you can pick your top place to move. Also, of course, we are real estate agents. As much as we love making these videos, we would love more helping out on that next move. So reach out to us. We got that 15-minute Zoom or phone number down below. So let's get into this. So first thing to know is that Sacramento actually is a pretty small city if you're gonna compare us to like a San Francisco or LA. However, whatever it lacks in the size, we definitely make up for our charm and accessibility. So first, let's go ahead, let's kind of dive into the different types of homes that we can find in the downtown Sacramento area. So downtown has a couple different options. One, of course, they have the townhomes that are pretty famous in the area. Two, we've got the single family homes depending on where you're at in the downtown area. And then three, and this is kind of the new hot thing for us, is we've got the condos. Couple notable places to mention in this is gonna be, of course, the L Street lofts have gotta be one of them. The residence at the Sawyer is got to probably be the most famous one. And then we've got the 120 I Street building. Now, all of these properties have an HOA. They all have different amenities that they offer. If we're just talking about like the residence at the Sawyer, this is probably one of the hottest places right now. They're right there in the Doco area. They have a large pool that kind of overlooks, so when the Kings are playing, you get to get right there in the spirit, see all the crowd out there having a good time. You are right next to your restaurants. You've got Sauce right there. If you're into your bar scene, that's not too far from you. Also, if you want to get to some of the other parts of Sacramento, it's pretty easy. Only problem you're gonna have with that one, I would say, of course, is gonna be your parking, just because there is so much activity, so many people visiting the Doco area. But views in the area are great. You're actually not even that far from the Capitol. And because this whole residence sits on top of a hotel, you got a lot of amenities at this one. You've got room service, right? You've got laundry cleaning. They've got a full-size gym and also even parking, which leads me into one of the things that you got to remember if you're going for one of these condos or even a townhome. Parking is very limited down there. So make sure that when you're in contract or you found that property, that you actually either have access to or it's just part of the purchase of the property where you have parking, whether that's valet parking, permanent parking, because if you're trying to get something on the streets, that's going to be pretty expensive. Now, if you find more of a residence property that you like in the area, that's okay. Most of those are going to at least have one-car garages. Most of these are like back alleys or fronts, or if they don't have a garage, they'll at least have some sort of a carport. While downtown may not have these huge skyscrapers to look at, the scenery is actually pretty cool. We not only have the Sacramento River running through town, we also have Old Town Sacramento. When you get into this area, you're really gonna feel like you're back in a Western. You're walking down basic cobblestone streets. You've got wood sidewalks that you can hear the planks creaking the whole way that you're walking on them, and just some cool little boutique stores. And one of the big things that I remember growing up was the Doco area was actually a big mall. They've of course cut that out, and they've made a lot of just these restaurants, bars, a couple little shopping centers, but there still is the Macy's little center right there. So you still do have a little bit of shopping right there as well. So since I'm already kind of on the subject, let's roll right into are sports arenas. So we do have, of course, the Kings Arena that basically when they're playing, that place is packed in the downtown. So know that for that parking reason. Also, we're not lacking anywhere. We've also have, of course, the soccer team. We're still on that journey of building the stadium for them. And then you can't forget about the River Cats, that actually the stadium is sitting right there on the river overlooking. So plenty of things to do in that downtown area. And that is one of those other reasons that, like I say, you've got to really watch that parking when purchasing the property, because you can get overtaken pretty quickly when there are different events going on. So over the last 10 to 15 years, Sacramento has actually seen a ton of growth. A lot of this is from people moving to the area from LA area, San Francisco area, just a lot of movement from around Sacramento itself. You're seeing residents more and more want to get into that downtown area. So with that growth and development, what was pretty much kind of really a quiet town when I was growing up, or quiet city when I was growing up, really has become a pretty vibrant hub. And this is actually offering a lot of different convenient amenities, which I really like seeing. I remember, again, growing up, you'd be in the Sacramento area and there was like a couple blocks and that was it. Now, really a lot of amenities spread out. So if there's something that you're looking for, something that you need, you can find it pretty close to you, no matter where you live in that downtown area. One of the big things I would say that I've seen a huge development on is actually just the grocery stores in general. One, they have a huge farmers market in the downtown area. This has really helped us push the whole farm to fork idea that you've seen out there, and that Sacramento is getting more and more known for. Another cool place is going to be the Sacramento Co-op. This place is got a lot of different vendors inside, all local vendors that are going to be serving up from food to groceries to just your everyday knickknacks by people around the area. And then of course you're getting, your traditional Rayleigh's, Trader Joe's that are popping up on more and more corners, again making it just a little bit more convenient for your day-to-day life. Now, one of my favorite things that has been happening down there is going to be the food scene. So again, I go back to when I grew up. You came down here and there was nothing special about eating. I remember having envy for the Bay Area and what they had to offer. Now the downtown area really has a lot of different foods, a lot of different variety in foods. So a couple of my favorite places to go to while we're down there. If you're looking for some place fun, good food, good drinks, Cantina Alley is probably one of my favorite. If you want just a traditional Mexican food, you've got Tres Manes. You also have, of course, Beast and Bounty, which is just a cool vibe there, as well as great food. The Water Boy, that's another great place for us to go. And then for breakfast, I'm sorry, I haven't found anything better than going over to Bacon and Butter. Now, if you go to any of these places, please make sure you make reservations, or you may be standing in line, especially Bacon and Butter. They open pretty early and that line develops pretty quickly. I think though the most amount of time we've ever actually had to wait is probably, 30 minutes at the max. So it's not that bad, but just know there are some wait times, but the food scene is getting great around here. We've got a couple Michelin star chefs that have come into the area, so that is really helping our food scene. I also am hearing of more and more places come into the area, so I'm really excited for what we're going to see. Also, they've got great events in the area, so if you're looking for something to, a concert in the park, Sacramento is offering that all the time. You've got that river access, so don't forget that you've got a lot of different options when down there. It's not just going to the Kings game or walking the streets for food. You can enjoy the river, drop the boat in. You've got a lot of biking trails in the area and around the area. And then they even have like just cool gyms. Like one of the gyms that even my brother goes to is a rock crawling gym. So just like any other big city, there are a lot of different options when coming to the area. And it's like I say, it's just one of those things that we've seen really grow in these last couple of years. And it's really exciting to see what more is coming. Okay, now one of the things that we do really need to talk about though, and probably one of my biggest last points, is walking scores, especially my San Francisco folks that are coming out, Bay Area folks. This is probably gonna be one of the things that is gonna surprise you. So there are not a lot of areas that are gonna have the greatest walking score. I know from experience of being in the San Francisco area, and whether you're going to events, whether you're going out to eat, or you're just wanting to do something, you guys are pretty much on an island there, so you guys have a lot of things close to you. Also, if you travel over down to like San Jose, again, you guys still have quite a few things close to you, even though you're a little bit more spread out. But transportation is going to be one of those things that you're going to want to think about. Now, there is a couple things that we have in the area. One, we of course have a bus schedule, so you can buy a ticket for the full year. It's not that expensive. Actually, I think they break it down month to month there for you. The other one that I like and I've been on, and actually is pretty clean, is the tram that runs throughout the city. Now, the tram is only in a certain part of the city, so depending on where you're at or where you need to get to, you really want to look into kind of the routes and the time frames. I will also say we have Amtrak in the area, so if you're trying to travel outside the area, maybe get into, say, Truckee, or if you're trying to even get out of state, or just maybe go visit some family, the actual Amtrak station that they have, you honestly feel like you're walking into the airport. It's the best station I've ever seen. I don't know if that changes somewhere else, but I've come out of the Fresno one, which is pretty nice. The Truckee one, of course, has its charm because you're landing into a small town. But I've never seen a Amtrak station that looks this good or actually put together so well. So if you're traveling outside the area, you also always have that Amtrak, but I would say, most likely you're gonna need a car of some kind to get around that downtown area. Now, if you can somehow work it out where you're working, playing everything in that area, at worst case scenario, we have those jump bikes. I think they also have like birds. They're kind of cluttering the city a little bit, so they're a little bit annoying, but if you need to use them, especially after, say, a basketball game or after a soccer game, real easy to get on and get out of there instead of trying to fight some of the traffic that's coming out of these garage ports. But like I say, for the most part, I think you're gonna probably need a car, because if you need to get to the other side of Sacramento for whatever reason, if you need to just get over to like IKEA, it's not that close. You've got to travel a little bit. So just know, transportation, they do have some decent city options. We do even have some of those rental car situations that are around. Not too much. They're just kind of getting introduced to our area, but plan on having something. At least if you're a family, especially living down there, probably at least have one car. Even the schools, depending on the neighborhoods that you're at, you may have to travel to drop the kids off, and or they may have to take the bus system, which is just fine. But transportation is going to be one of those big things that I think, especially my San Francisco folks, are going to have to get used to for that downtown area. And guys, that pretty much wraps it up. Those are a few things I think a lot of people need to understand about the Sacramento area, or I should say really the downtown area. Like I say, it is a growing area. A lot of building is going on, a lot of old buildings being taken down, and you're seeing some new stuff being put up, which for us is really exciting, especially with some of the new sports stuff that's happening in the area. And so I think in the next 10 to 15 years, even from what we look like now, you're gonna see a huge amount of change. Also, if you want some of that deep history, there's probably no other place to go like the downtown Sacramento area. I mean, we still have the missions down there. If you go into that old Sacramento area, you've got the old boat sitting out there that you can enjoy dinner on. You also have the railroad museum right there. We have a car museum, a lot of things that are offered down there, and that are changing and just getting better. So if you guys need more info on some of this stuff, reach out to me. If you guys want to look into some of these condos, some of the townhomes or single family homes that they have, and you'd like to be in that hustle and bustle, reach out to me. I love showing those houses. They're some of the funnest houses I've seen. I mean, we still have some basements out there. I've heard of some of these houses where they open walls and you've got some old, distilleries in there from back in the day. So a lot of cool stuff down in the downtown Sacramento area. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.